There is no other knot that looks as cool when you're tying it, of course, than the perfection loop. It just makes you look legit. So I'm gonna show you how to tie it. We're gonna go over some uses for it, but before we do, please consider subscribing and giving this video a like. I know I'm kind of a big deal on YouTube at 580 subscribers. Yeah, I'm pretty famous, but with all famous people, we just want to keep going to the top. So the only way I'm really going to be able to gauge that is with more subscribers, but more importantly, I don't want to be regular famous. I'm looking to replace the creepy leprechaun on the Lucky Charms box. This face on Lucky Charms, imagine that. That type of famous. Let's get into it. All we're gonna do is we're gonna create a bite, and just like that. Okay, so we're making a loop. I call it a bite, loop, whatever, same thing. And all we're gonna do is make sure that the tag end goes underneath the standing portion, okay? So, and that's important. And when we do that, we're gonna pinch it with our thumb and our index finger. And now we have a loop here. Now this loop, when you first start out, you want to have this loop at least as big so you can get a finger in, okay? If not, a couple fingers. So here I can put 2 fingers in, that's great. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the tag end and we're gonna go around and make another loop, okay? And it's gonna go all the way around and behind this initial loop. So see, now we have 2 loops and we're holding these both loops with our index finger and our thumb. Now see this tag here that we have? It's really important that we do this next thing. So we have the small loop and the big loop, and this tag portion goes in between those 2 loops, and we're gonna pinch it and hold it with our middle finger on our index finger. So now that we have our little loop, our big loop, and in between our tag end goes in the middle to separate the 2. Now we're gonna take our index finger and our thumb from the other hand, and we're gonna grab onto the small loop, and we're just gonna pull it through just like this, okay? And that's your perfection loop. Bingo, bango. See, you can't pull it this way out, and you can't pull it this way out. That, my friends, is awesome. Next, all you do is you just cut off the little tag here. And you want to get that tag cut off pretty close, because usually when you make this knot, it is primarily for leaders and for the loop-to-loop connection. And if there's too much of a tag here, it'll get caught up in the guides, and that's not fun. So that's good to go. Another thing is, you notice that I did not lube the joint here when I did that. And this is probably the only knot that I will not lube the joint. And the reason for it is because there's not a lot going on with this knot. So we're not creating that much friction when we're cinching it down. Now with like a clinch knot or blood knot, that kind of stuff, there's a lot of coils on the standing portion. So you want to have that type of lubrication so you don't create too much friction, and then you can weaken the knot. With this guy here, not a problem. We're just going around a couple times and tying it off. So that's it. The perfection loop 99% of the time is going to be used in loop-to-loop connections on your fly line to leader, and of course your backing to fly line. Now if you watched my last video, which was the Skagit setup, like the small Skagit setup, what I did was I used a large perfection loop on my backing to fit my running line through, and then from my running line to the Skagit head itself, I also made another large loop so I can fit the whole entire Skagit head in. So when you're doing like a leader to fly line, you're gonna have a smaller loop, and the loop that I usually, the size of the loop is about the circumference of my pinky is what I do. Now when you're learning this knot, you're gonna wanna have a bigger loop, maybe even something the size where you can have 2 fingers go through. And the more you get used to it, the smaller you can get. But I urge you not to go too small, because there's really no point in doing so. And the other thing is, it's just the ease of use as well. When you're putting it through your fly line, it really helps out there. So those are things to think about when you're making your perfection loops. So I hope this has given you a really good understanding of how to make this knot, and as well, you got to practice this knot. You're gonna look really freaking legit. I'm not even kidding. I know I was joking at the beginning of the video, but it is a cool looking knot, and when you do it, I mean, it's legit, man. You look legit. Please like and subscribe. I got so many cool videos coming down the pipe, and guess what? Our waters are opening up in, I think, 5 or 6 more days, and we can finally go fishing more and more. Trout opens in another couple weeks. We got pike opening and walleye and all that, and I can't wait to show you guys how much I suck at fly fishing. So thanks so much for tuning in to this video, and catch you on the next one. Bye bye.